the new lesson. Well, today's lesson is about using verbs like speak and talk and the difference between them. Well, first of all, I'd like to tell you why I've taken up this lesson. A lot of subscribers have requested for this. So this lesson is dedicated to all my subscribers who have requested for this lesson. Secondly, last week when I was returning from work, I was just getting into my house and I overheard some screaming and yelling from my neighbors. Well, they're this young couple and I guess they were fighting like all couples do. So I overheard the lady say, "I don't want to talk to you from today." And the man said, "I don't want to speak to you either." So I was like, okay, now this lesson is long overdue, so I'm going to take this up in today's class. Alright, first let's understand what do we mean by speak and talk. They are verbs, and like you know, every verb has three forms. So we have speak, spoke, spoken, and we have talk, talked, and talked. Now basically both mean the same. They mean the action of verbal communication, obviously using your voice. Alright, there is not much difference between them, but yes, there are always preferences, when we should use speak and talk. Alright friends, so let's see how we use the verb speak. Now, John will speak at the conference on Monday. So John is going to be the orator or the public speaker that day. So when John speaks, the entire audience is going to be listening. So when one person is, formally addressing an audience, we always use speak. It would be really wrong if you say John will talk at the conference on Monday. Talk is very informal, but when you want to say something that is formal, or when one person is addressing an audience, you always say John will speak at the conference on Monday. Alright, so he is going to be the only one who is going to be speaking on Monday. Fine. Now let's see how do we use talk. She talked to John last night. Now here probably a conversation between two people. It's informal, like how you casually chat with your friends. So she talked to John last night. So when there is a conversation between two or more people, which is casual, informal, always use talked. Now if you remember, when we describe a person of being an eloquent speaker or someone who's a good orator, we always say he's a good speaker, right? We don't say he's a good talker, but yes, he's a good speaker, because we're talking about something very formal, probably the one who communicates very well to an audience. So we always say speaker, right? But when you have a friend who loves chit-chatting all the time, she has all the gossip, so we say, oh, she's a very talkative person. We don't say speakative, we say talkative because it's informal, it's just casual chit-chatting. Okay friends, now let's take a look at other uses of speak and talk. Maria speaks English. Alright, now when we want to say that someone has the ability to speak a particular language or can communicate in a particular language, more of expertise in a language, always say speak. Alright. Now, we cannot say Maria talks English. That's wrong. So never use the verb talk when you want to describe or when you want to talk about an expertise in language. Always use speak. Or even for the ability of speaking a particular language, we say Maria can't speak or can speak English but not talk. Alright. Please remember, we do not use talk when we are describing an expertise or talking about an expertise in language. Okay. So let's take a look at the third example. Don't speak nonsense. Now, sometimes we get annoyed when people keep chatting or keep talking things that don't really make sense to you. So in anger, you say, don't speak nonsense. Well, we never use speak with words like sense and nonsense. We always say, don't talk nonsense. Alright? Please remember, because it is informal, probably something that doesn't even really make sense to you. So say, don't talk nonsense. Please do not say, don't speak nonsense. Alright? Alright, in my next example, My boss spoke to me about my performance. Well, I can also say my boss talked to me, but obviously it's a formal conversation, so it's always better to use spoke. Now, spoke to me. So we use to introduce a conversational partner. So he's speaking to me, so always say he spoke to me. Alright, we talked about our childhood days. So here we talked, obviously it's informal, you're chit-chatting about. You can always use talked about or spoke about when you're introducing the subject that you're talking about. Right? So you talk about something, you speak about something, that's the subject of your conversation. So we talked about our childhood days. Alright friends, now you may have heard a lot of people say speak to or talk to, or even speak with or talk with. Now there's a lot of confusion regarding this. Well, speak to and talk to are more often used and are common. But yes, speak with and talk with are less common, but it is not wrong. You can definitely use it. Alright friends, this brings me to the end of this lesson. I hope you enjoyed watching this lesson. I'm sure all your confusion is now going to get clear. I'm going to be back soon with a new lesson. Till then, take care and bye.